Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight? Yeah, party of five. I, actually, was that? I was about to say that was a good show. Was it? I don't. It was a show. It was a show. Vaguely remember it being really kind of gross. That has nothing to do with what's going on tonight. Um, Tonight is all about the number one, and specifically about Final Fantasy One, which we're gonna stream here in just a second once I can get it all working. There's kind of there's kind of a lot involved in this sort of thing. Oh, thank you. I was very proud of putting this frame together, and hopefully the audio will not blow everyone out. I love seeing the Steam community pop up on this. It's so out of place. Hey, Cherry. Hey, Christy. Raid. Also remember that about the same time as Party of Five, actually. Welcome, Alice. Thank you for the raid. Uh, so I need to pull some stuff up. Give me just a hot moment. I'm gonna let this lovely crystal theme play because I will never be sick of it. There we go. So all of this started. Well, all of this started 35 years ago. But the idea to stream this this Friday. Yes, this Friday, a new game is coming out that we've talked about a little bit before. I'm going to get it right this time. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. That looks bonkers. They put out a demo last Friday for consoles, and I played it, and honestly, just purely speaking, as a video game, it's fun. Like, it's not particularly inventive, but the pieces that it borrows, I think they're familiar and they're enjoyable. I think it's going to be a fun game regardless. That demo, by the way, if you've got a console to get it on, is almost 3 hours of content, which was more than I was expecting. The thing that had me more fascinated by it, though, because it ties back to Final Fantasy One, a game that hasn't really been referenced a lot as much as some of the other earlier titles. So Final Fantasy Origin does deal with kind of core elements of this story. Maybe sort of kind of. It borrows them as set pieces, possibly. Maybe no more than that. It looks like it's going to be an absolute goof parade. And if you haven't seen the memes, I would recommend Googling them because they're hilarious. And honestly, the ones that you think are edits probably aren't. Um, I'm I'm so excited to see it, honestly. Because I think it's going to be entertaining in the way that like a good action movie is entertaining. And that is a thing that has its place. But also from playing the demo, and I'm going to be very coy about this part because I don't want to accidentally spoil either this game or that one. But they may also be doing something clever with the story. Remains to be seen. If they are, I'm very excited to play the game. But right now we're going to play this game. So, I miss Carlin's Eastern European accent from the alpha. Yeah, that looks so old. Wow, okay, Al, so first of all, I love you. Second of all, this game came out when I was like 6. Um, because I am also old. Uh, this Final Fantasy 1 was actually the very first video game I bought with my own money. My brother and I had a paper route, and so we had to grab the idea was, and this was back when a new Nintendo cartridge was like, I think it was $20, but it was like 20 late 80s dollars. So like that's at least half a million. Um, but as I was very proud of it, and I played the living stuffings out of it, and there are still things about it that I don't fully understand or know, and I'm okay with it. But I like it a lot. Hey, you were actually born the year this came out, at least in America, I think. Let's get our controller here working. I'm actually going to read this scroll because I think it's very interesting. This game, being that it's an older RPG, doesn't really tell you a lot of stuff without you going looking for it, and even then, there's a lot of the plot that you kind of have to put together yourself. But even at the ripe old age of like 6, I was able to put together what was going on, which was cool as hell. The world is veiled in darkness. Good start. The wind stops. The sea is wild. The earth begins to rot. The people wait. Their only hope, a prophecy. When the world is in darkness, 4 warriors will come. Oddly specific, 4. 4 warriors will come. After a long journey, 4 young warriors arrive, each holding an orb. Oh no. Hold please. So, because this, well, let's just say I don't have an old 8-bit NES plugged into all this, we may have some slight technical weirdness getting all this working the whole time. Yes, the orbs become crystals. They're crystal orbs. I guess they could be both. Crystal balls, really. But we're going to have to do a little bit of troubleshooting. See if we can get that there. Nope. Alright. We're going to try this again. Don't worry about that, you didn't see it. And now that we have the controller on first, now we'll open the Super Special System. That was a fun sound. Chaos, the Dark Cloud, whatever they're calling it in this fucking hates. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. You ever have a thing that worked when you were testing it, and then the second you actually like do it for real, then it immediately stops working? Do you ever have that happen every week? Then you know what it's like to be me. Alright. Well. Let's get this going. Okay, good. We do this. Do a little bit of calibration. You can't see any of this, but trust me, it's happening. EA start. Good. There. Oh, it won't let me just... Alright, fine. And B. Okay, yes, good. Nope, still having trouble. Ah. We got there! Orb. Listen, it's time to ponder your orb. Alright. I did also retool the audio because MIDI, I know for some folks, can be distressing. So I'm gonna tool that up just a little bit here. How's that? Basically just an arpeggio. Better. Excellent. I'll take better. Some days better is the best we can get. Alright, after all this ramble, let's finally actually play the damn game. So you can see at the bottom, we're using a randomizer. This was a recommendation that I have to credit to Bad Road. What's the word I'm thinking of? So randomizers, if you're familiar, normally will randomize things. And honestly, a randomizer run of this game I think would be really freaking fun for me personally. That's a project for future us. What we've used this for, it's otherwise the vanilla game, plus bug fixes, and a retooling of the rate at which we gain money and XP, plus, like, prices are down. It essentially makes it that we can now remove having to just grind enemies for cash and XP, has just been completely removed. Also, spells that were intended to work a certain way but didn't in the original cartridge now actually work that way, like Lock 2 and things like that, which is kind of cool. So, but otherwise, it's pretty much the same game. Alright, I'm gonna go with the party that I used as a kid. And let's use the names from Stranger of Paradise. So we have Jack. We'll make him our fighter. That seems appropriate. So when I first played this game, I played with the Thief, which was a little bit of a... it was a rough go. It becomes powerful later, but it's makes the early game a bit tough. Let's see. So this, based on the class they have in Stranger of Paradise, would be Jed. This is Ash. Whoop, nope. Oh no. Crap. How do I... There. Nailed it. Sorry, we got there. And... Nope, not Black Belt. Black Mage. Neon. So, 3 of these names, or at least Jed... Maybe just Jed. I think Jack and Jed were names in, like, the original Nintendo Power Strategy Guide example party of Final Fantasy 1, which I think is cool that they've now become the canonical names in Final Fantasy Origin. That's just great. Hey, Bad Road, welcome. Fighter, Black Belt, Fighter, Bi Belt, and 2 Bi Mages. Hey, Jerry. Alright, so here's us. We're currently naked, so we should probably go buy some stuff first. I'm Arlon, the dancer! That's awesome. You do you. Hello, stranger. What's going on? This is Cornelia, or Cornelia. The Dream City. I forgot it was called the Dream City. See your face upon the clean water. How dirty! Come, wash your face, wash your face. Not my favorite random message, but pretty close. Thank you, Bedroad. Warriors, revive the power of the orbs. This is a well. You might think that there's something to it, but in fact, it's just an ordinary well. That's my favorite, like, random message in the game, and it's so funny to me that they included it. It's not even just, like, if I click on anything else, it just says nothing here. And they could have just said nothing here. But they wanted to say, listen, it's a well. We understand why you think there's something down the well. There's not. I don't know why that's so amusing to me, but it is. Please, save the princess! Okay, well, that's 2 agenda items. Fix the orbs. Save the princess. Lucan left this town to join his colleagues at Crescent Lake. One of the pointy hat sages. Palace Guard. The king is sure that someday the Light Warriors will come to save the princess, just as in Lucan's prophecy. We'll meet Lucan much later, probably not tonight. Please save the princess, yada yada. This is the church. If somebody dies, it's not exactly permadeath, but if somebody dies, you have to, especially in the early game, walk all the way back to a town and pay money to resurrect them. It's very early Dungeons & Dragons. Home is Provoca. Beautiful port city far east of here. We should get to Provoca tonight, I hope. We'll see how fast we go. Alright, with prices adjusted, we should have no problem getting all of our equipment in one go. We will grab a rapier. Check. So one thing that's cool, this is a quality of the randomizer. If I mouse over something and someone's little, like, cheer goes, it's their, like, battle triumph pose, that means they can equip it. When you did the game normally, that did not happen, so you just had to kind of guess. Iron Hammer. And I usually go Dagger for the Black Mage. I'm going to go with the Wooden Staff. And then we have to actually equip that shit. There we are. Normally the sages stand in a circle, or octagon, but the confused old man flag lets them walk around and get some exercise. I love that. That's such a good little note. It's like now in, like, Space Quest or Monkey Island, you click on a trash can, your character will go, a clickable trash can? Well, I guess I'm digging through that eventually. Yes! Good times. Alright, chain armor for our fighter. Wooden armor. Not leather. Wooden armor. Well, sorry, Jed. Please don't get splinters. And cloth armor. Same deal. Still naked. Now less naked. Alright, we have armor and weapons. Magic time. Now this was usually... Nope, you can't learn magic yet. So usually each magic spell was a significant amount of money, and your starting gold would not cover it. So you'd have to buy, like, a spell, leave town, wander around, fight a bunch of stuff, come back in, and slowly fill out your magic. We don't have to worry about that, which is convenient. Cure is our cure wounds. Harm will harm the undead. I think it got called, like, Dia later. Fog will raise armor on anybody. Ruse will rain the evasion, but only of the healer who casts it. I'm gonna get Fog. It's a little bit more broad. Armor means you'll still get hit, but presumably take less damage. Dia is short for Dispel Undead. Well, that makes sense. I always assumed that it just meant die again. Fire for our Black Mage. Lightning for our Black Mage. So, you can only get... a given caster can only get 3 spells per level, and there are always at least 4 options available. In fact, I think there's always exactly 4 options available, which means on any given playthrough, a given character cannot learn all of the magic. They've got to leave 1 spell behind at each level, which can lead to some very interesting choices later on. Early game, it's a little bit easier to decide, but later on, there's some really clever, like, ooh, this could be good, or that could be really good. So we have the option between Lock, which increases the number of hits on a single target. Great anti-boss strategy. But we'll get a better version of this called Lock 2 by the time that we're fighting bosses that really need it. So Lock 1, not super helpful. Sleep, on the other hand, hits everybody, and it can put them asleep. Great for dealing with large numbers of enemies. And my go-to for level 1 Black Magic. Right, they're not always in the same store, but each spell level does have 4 options. Okay, that was what I remembered. Alright, last thing. Let's get some items for here. Another wonderful quality of life improvement of the randomizer. I can choose to buy multiple quantities. Anybody who played the original Final Fantasy I, you have to hit, like, I want to buy a heal potion. Yes. I want to buy a heal potion. Yes. And each of those is 1. So if you wanted to buy, say, 20 heal potions, you were going to be going through those menus a lot. It was bad. We're not going to buy any of those right now. We're going to buy this instead. Let's buy 2. And then we're going to buy Pure as an antidote. There are spiders in the Temple of Fiends, so there's a chance we might get hit with that. Vanilla game, the shopkeeper has to handwrite an individual receipt for each potion. Listen, it's important for their, like, supply chain, I get it. Probably goes into the back to get them one at a time. Alright. The king is looking for the Light Warriors. You do not happen to be them, do you? So I kind of glossed over it on this interface, but... So, obviously, here's us. In the top left corner of this are the 4 orbs, which are just gray circles with kind of a sheen painted on them. As we beat the... as we collect the 4 Lord Souls, as we beat the 4 Fiends, each one of those will light up. And once you've restored light to the crystals, then you can fix the stuff. But it's cool that you start the game, it's like you're 4 warriors carrying 4 crystals that are just dull rocks. And you have to do something to them before they're worth anything. Oh, my sister! I don't remember... Oh, so the princess we're going to save is named Sarah. I don't remember the name of her sister. Alright, yeah, saying the same thing. I'm going to try and get as much unique dialogue out of these fellas as we can. We're going to do this Dragon Warrior style. In sadness, the queen locked herself inside. Locked? Locked, you say? I am Jane. What a regal name. I am Jane, Queen of Corneria. Please, save my daughter, Princess Sarah, and my other daughter, whose name will remain lost to time. Please, save the princess. Okay, I'm gonna try and... You can kind of push NPCs out of the way, which always looks uncomfortable. The princess was looking for you. Well, yeah. So, the person that we're going to rescue went looking for us when they got kidnapped, or princess napped. Garland used to be a good knight, until... That right there, that's the plot synopsis of Stranger of Paradise. That's not a spoiler, they put that right on the box. Alright, well we can't get any of the treasure in here until later, I don't think. Sure, like... The girl standing still in that room to the north of the queen, I think she's invisible in vanilla because she's coded as being inside a room. That's incredible. Yeah, I got you again. King! Hello! Light warriors! Just as in Lucan's prophecy, Garland has kidnapped the princess. Please help her. Alright, we're gonna do the other thing. The music in the early areas in this game is okay. Like, I don't... It's, what's the word? It doesn't stick with me the way that some of the later songs do. It's not bad, but it feels very, like, vanilla fantasy. At least now it does. Even in the 80s, I don't remember it standing out very much. But there's a lot of music in this game that still slaps, even by modern reckoning. Speaking of slaps, I think... possibly starting from the next game. I don't actually remember if they already started doing this by Final Fantasy II. You actually just saw it right there. If you assign someone to attack an enemy, they're attacking that enemy slot. Which means if you have two people getting up to fight like one imp, and one of them kills the imp, the second one just attacks open air. Whereas later in the games, if you were told to attack somebody and your target was dead before it was your turn, you would just attack somebody else. So this one can... There's some interesting gambles in terms of who you send who to attack. In Stranger of Paradise, Sarah's little sister's called Mia. Thank you. I don't know if we actually learned that in this version. That may have been something that was in the manual. So, right. Normally you don't level up after one battle with imps. So the game is definitely accelerated for benefit of not having to grind. Which will just make this easier to make it a fun stream as opposed to, and so for another hour we are running around fighting ogres. I still love this battle music to this day. Like, and battle music is something that there are a number of good battle music entries in the Final Fantasy series, and some very lackluster ones. But if it's the music you're gonna have to hear over and over and over, you got to have good overworld music, and you got to have good battle music. And this one I think has some phenomenal battle music. The overworld music's okay. Alright, we'll save. Got our level 2 health. This still slaps. I love this tune. Alright, now 2 of these are locked and 2 of these are not. I think we picked the right side. We got a cap! Oops. And an attack! Zombie. Arm. That'll do. Holy Toledo! 62 damage is a lot of damage at this level. When your cleric uses Turn Undead, shit explodes. As was foretold in the prophecy. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and trade this. If you have to wear wooden armor, the least we can do is give you a cap. Alright, and the other 2 corners, the chests are locked until we have the key. The, like, royal key or whatever it's called. Which will be much later. Whoops. Wolves at this level hit hard and are a little bit tanky, so 5 wolves is right on the edge of what we can easily survive, but we're also on our way back to the door, so worst case scenario, we step outside, we use our other tent, we come back in. But it is enough that I'm going to use sleep. Asleep. Asleep. Alright, 3 for 3. Come on, give me the full Monty. Yeah, alright. Beautiful. They have exactly 20 hit points, so that was just enough. So they're waking up, but it is, like in Pokemon, it's taking their action to do so, which means that they're not punching us in the face. Which is how I like my wolves. I don't know about y'all. Damn. Nice. Nice. Well, that was very lucky. Hot damn, Neon. Jack, I'm disappointed in you. The Black Mage did more damage. Alright, you keep attacking this one. You attack this one. You attack this one because it only has 2 health. There we go, Jack. Well done. Wow. Alright. I'm a healer, but... Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. So, ultimately, might not have been... Oh, it's called the magic key, although it's in your inventory as key. That makes sense. I was trying to remember if it was actually called, like, the elf key or something. So now was one of those moments where I could go back to town and get our magic back and get our health back. And if I were playing this game in 87, that's 100% what I would do. But we're not that time anymore. We're just going to get our health back and fight the boss. Hi, bud. How you doing? Like your whole, like your shoulder pads. No one touches my princess. Light warriors, you impertinent fools. I, Garland, will knock you all down. Still wonderful meme fuel. Hey, buddy. I love this sprite. Alright, all y'all know how to do is fight. I'm gonna hang on to you for here in case we need it. Set him on fire, please. Thank you. That'll do. I want to say he has like 168 health at this level. It's weird to me that these numbers have stuck in my head for 35 years, but when you're a little kid, you have one video game you bought with your own money, you remember a lot of stuff, I think. At least I do. Everybody's okay health-wise, and you're out of magic. Thank you, Patrick. Wow, quote 168 on the day after Daylight Savings kicks in. How perfect. Alright. Key. Bet. Or is it? No, it's a bat. It's totally a bat. It's a whole bunch of bats. Hi, bats. Hi. Hello. Hi. How are you? And it's a princess, who is not a bat, but we can't all be perfect. Ah, you're the Light Warriors. Thank you. And we teleport away with Sarah's incredible teleportation magic. Thank you for saving the princess. To aid your quest, I ordered a bridge built to the continent. Go now and make the orbs shine again. This loot has been passed down from queen to princess for 2,000 years. 2,000 years. It's a 2,000-year-old musical instrument. What is it? It's gotta sound like crap, right? Garland stole it when he kidnapped me. Please accept it as my gift. It just might come in handy. That's a freaking spoiler for the end of the damn game. Ridiculous. In some of the remakes, you physically can't leave the throne room without talking to Sarah. Good. Because when I was a little kid, I was extremely confused. That was fun to figure it out. That's fair. If you replace like the head and then replace the bell and then replace the strings, is it still the same loot? I guess it's all an open question. Let's go back in here. Have some money. Did we? No. Okay, that did not in fact give us a free rest, because in Final Fantasy 1 you pay for everything. Speaking of, go ahead and get 5 of these. And get 4 more of those. And we might as well grab some of these. Perfect. In this economy, 300 gil is a pretty decent amount. We sleep. Oh yeah, I forgot it has the message that says, don't forget, if you turn off your game, hold reset before you hit power. Because that was a real thing with save files. It was a weird time. There's our bridge. And now? So, in the original game, this was the actual prologue. Obviously, in this case, the randomizer just says the randomizer. And it does this, like, kind of blinds thing. I'm going to read out what it originally said. And so, their journey begins. What awaits the four, they do not know. Each holding an orb that 2,000 years ago shined with beauty from within. But now, only darkness. Come, start your journey. Return the light of peace to our world. That shit was just the top when I was like a 7-year-old. It was incredible. I'm like, I'm the warrior of light. What's up? But that bridge scene has become kind of one of the more iconic elements that's best remembered, I think, from Final Fantasy I. So, of course, they had to recreate it in Stranger of Paradise. Beautiful. Quick and clean. Ba-ba-da. Now, we don't need to go visit my friend, but we're going to go visit my friend. Because she's one of my favorite characters in the game. And I would be remiss if I didn't at least stop in to say hello. There's also a flag to make Sarah give you a random musical instrument, like a piano or a triangle. Listen, as a former percussionist, if I had to save the world with a triangle, I would throw it into the sea. Fuck triangle. Not like the shape, the musical instrument. The shape's unnoticed, though. We go around the J River. I love how purple it is. Tickles because a magic spell? What could it mean? It's so cryptic. It's how we tell you how to access the freaking mini-map. It's push B and select. Hey, Matoya, listen, I'm gonna come talk to you, but I'm walking over your skulls to steal your stuff first. We're cool, right? Hey, how you doing? Where is my crystal? I can't see anything without it. Who stole my crystal? Well, it wasn't me. I just stole your treasure. Crystal wasn't in there. Excuse me, Broom. Thank you. She returns in Final Fantasy XIV and actually hints that she's the same person. Yes. So, played Final Fantasy XIV, and I think I've talked about this on stream before, but one thing that I think that game consistently does well is specifically how it does fan service to the other Final Fantasy games. In that it's very rarely done as a you remember this person? Yeah. It's always integrated into whatever's going on, and it's very much a kind of a if you know you know moment. But if you don't have any idea who this person is, it's just like, oh, who's this quirky fellow? And Matoya's on that list. She's one of the only references I've found to Final Fantasy 1 in Final Fantasy XIV, but she's wonderful. The voice actor they got to do her, very good. Also, technically, there are 2 Matoyas, but I won't go into more details on that for risk of spoiling. But she's great. The 14 devs love Final Fantasy V. They also love Final Fantasy IV. This latest expansion, Endwalker, heavily borrows, and in a lot of cases, directly references Final Fantasy IV. But they have a whole side quest line that deals with Gilgamesh as he appeared in 5 and 6. It's good stuff. Mad Pony? Why are you mad, Pony? Oh no, does Kane betray you again? Well, kinda? I'm not gonna say more on that, because also potential spoilers for much earlier content, but kinda? Kinda. Basically. I only very recently, like within the last 8 to 9 months or so, finally played through Final Fantasy 3, 4, and 5. And I... Two very different games, but as somebody who grew up in love with this game and in love with Final Fantasy VI, seeing how much more grown up 4 felt, and then how much more like campy and 80s action cartoon Final Fantasy V felt like. It's so interesting to me that the studio produced 3 very different like flavors of game, just that fast in concert, while also producing like 2 and 3 that were just their own complete off in the woods thing. I should probably run from this fight. Well, no, hang on, we've got our magic back. The Grey Wolf is... It's, what's the word? Bullet Sponge. Also, right, there's Garlemald, which is the Garlean Empire. That Garland gets around. 1, 4, and 14. Or 1, 9, and 14, pardon me. But yeah, you're right, that's another Final Fantasy 1 illusion. But yeah, loads of 4 stuff. There's a whole like raid series where you fight the greatest hits of bosses from Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI. You can fight the Doom Train, which was cool as heck. Yeah, I think we're gonna just continue to pile on. I could do this. I'm gonna do this again. We're gonna play defensive. Nice. That'll help. Ow! Stop beating up my thief. Go back to sleep. All wolves are damage sponges compared to what you get for defeating them. That's true. But I think at this level, the Grey Wolf has, like, 84 hit points or something. It's ridiculous. Come on. No, Jack. I need you on this one, buddy. As long as they're attacking the thief, they're not hitting anyone important. Rude. But not inaccurate. Speaking of the thief. Again, probably shouldn't do this. Gonna do it. Conserving magic is only helpful if you're alive. There we go. Thank you, Jack. Alright, so now the fire spell will be a little bit of a waste, but that's okay. Oh good, OBS just welcomed me back to the chat. That's always a good sign. Alright, let's finish up the riffraff and move on to Provoca. Dead. Mega dead. Not quite dead. Super mega ultra dead. We did it! That's a decent amount of gold. Please don't attack me in the desert. I forgot what they're called. I think they're called Agama. There's an early iguana enemy type in that desert who can mess up your whole week. Oh, great imps now? Jeez, okay. Nope, hang on. Ash has been coming out swinging, no pun intended, with the hammer, so... Gonna give them a chance to take out a wolf. Oh no! 1 hit point shy. Ow! That's too much damage. Don't do that. There, that's the right amount of damage. Is it the iguana? It might be the iguana. The Agama might be the later iteration of the same model. Should probably heal. I don't think anybody's going to do 33 damage to them. He said, tempting fate. Well, not at this rate. Alright. That went about as well as it could have gone. Murder. Thank you. I do want to make some money before we get to our next town, because we'll have another spree of buying more expensive weapons, armor, and spells. Provoca! Help! Why? Like, but not like why should I help? But like, what's it? Look at the size of this text box, man. You could give me a paragraph on it. Nope, just help is all we get. He needs somebody, not just anybody. I love the Mohawk sprite. That's my favorite. This town has been invaded by pirates. Ah, well that would explain the help. Before we do that, we're gonna do this. Get our health and magic back. Don't need the clinic. Might need the white magic. What is it? I never remember what's at level 2. Oh, A lightning, so protection against lightning damage. That won't be needed until much later. Lamp cancels out darkness. Mute silences enemies. This limited capability, but against the right enemy, very good. And then this raises the invasion of somebody. This is basically ruse, but can be applied to anyone. I think we're actually going to skip all of these. For now. We'll come back, but I want to make sure I can afford the offensive stuff. Neon. Ice. Good. Get some blizzard in here. So temper, if I remember right, you cast it on an ally and it increases the damage they deal, or the number of hits they do, or the accuracy of their hits. Regardless, they do more damage, functionally. And then there's Dark, which is like Sleep, but it reduces the effectiveness of offensive attacks, and it doesn't go away with their next action. Slow reduces their intelligence, which I think counters magic. So, like, Dark counters physical attacks, and then Slow counters magical attacks, I think. I do want to do Temper, because Temper combined with the melee fighters we've got is very choice. I think I want to do Dark. Oh, Slow reduces them to 1 attack per round. I don't think I ever knew that. We're going to do Dark and Temper. It reduces their speed. It's funny because the actual, if I remember right, the text that pops up when they're afflicted with Slow is loses intelligence. Also dispels fast, that's true, with the haste. Let's see, so... yeah, Ice, Dark, and Temper. Good. Good. It says lost intelligence. At risk of potentially referencing ableist language, it's entirely possible that it was a mistranslation on the part of American localizers who used the word slow in an ableist context. That's the best guess I've got. Scimitar, absolutely. Jed. So I normally get the short sword, which tends to be a reliable damage. It's got a decent chance to hit and a decent amount of damage. But if I remember right, the hand axe does more damage with less chance to hit. So it's a risk-reward sort of scenario. I'm gonna go with the axe. Just because I never did when I was younger. I'm gonna sell our rapiers. For 4 cash... oh no, for 2 cash dollars. Alright, that's probably as much as we're going to be able to realistically afford. 140 bucks is not a lot. Young Yu is wise in that respect. I hated when my fighter would whiff. We'll come back and talk to the pirate in a second. So I would always sacrifice damage in favor of chance to hit. But we're going to have fun with this one. Ooh, Iron Armor. If I remember right, Iron Armor is very good for its price. We'll get the wooden shield. Jack's the only one who can do shields. And then we'll get gloves. I can't remember if gloves and shield take the same spot. Well, we'll get 3 gloves and see. Gloves might be an accessory, essentially. Now we'll buy 4. They're 22 bucks. Now then. I didn't actually expect us to really get equipped. Okay, sweet. Everybody gets some nice gloves. Beautiful. Now we fight the pirates.
Aye, I'm Bicky the pirate, and surprised I am that ye scurvy dogs have the nerve to face me. Mates, get these landlubbers.
I love Bicky. Alright, so we have quite a few pirates. You know what? You're gonna... No. Nope, I changed my mind. You're gonna attack the front. There. You're also gonna attack the front. And I might be misremembering this from 35 years ago, but I vaguely remember that the further back from the front row an enemy is, they get a buff to evasion, I think? But I might have made that up. Fog on yourself. Get our cleric's armor up. Put on some mage armor. And then right out the gate, we're going to do dark on everybody. Nice. There we go. Nice, good. Yeah, no, just keep attacking the tank. The tank. Beautiful. Well. 1. 2. Alright. Alright. Could have gone worse. I'll take that. Alright, so let's have you fight in the back row. The 2 that were unaffected. And you throw some lightning. I love that because of the... they only had 4 characters to describe the spells. So, lightning is lit, sleep is slep. And then they have to start adding numbers to it later, and it just gets even more awkward. At this point, we should just be able to thwack them. Wow, that scimitar is really coming out hot. Listen, Neon, if you can just one-shot this fella. You love to see it. Level 5! We would not be level 5 normally. Okay, you got me. Take me ship. So now we have a ship. The elves live across the sea. Matoya's herb is the only thing that will wake their prince. That's one of the key elements of the biggest fetch quest in the game. Thank you. We don't need to be afraid of pirates anymore. After watching you beat his punk ass. Let's see if we can afford that iron armor. We can! Let's sell chain. Boop, 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 boop. Nope, and chat has disconnected again. Alright, let me pull up our backup. One day, I will figure out... So, used to be, we didn't have any trouble connecting to the chat. And now it has become an every stream occurrence, which is troubling. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on a separate device. Make sure I don't miss what y'all are saying. There we go. Alright. Perfect. Let's leave that right there where I can see y'all. Assuredly, it's an OBS thing. I'm seeing you just fine. Right, it's just me connecting to chat. And so it's either OBS or it's the specific part of Twitch that controls the chat being sent out to other services. Which sucks. But regardless, I have a backup. And that's always a good thing to have when it comes to technology of literally any kind. Let's see. How much does the magic cost here? Oh hey, another sage. I have escaped from Melmond in the west. My town is in trouble. Please help them. Melmond. These are... okay. So we can get 1. Well... Invisibility is going to be the most broadly applicable. We'll come back here later and get, probably get Mute and Alit. There are many dangerous monsters in the sea. Be careful. Oh, hang on, we gotta talk to Mohawk Felon. Ships can stop only at ports. There are no ports in the north. You'll need another kind of ship. Perhaps an airship. Oh, hey, yeah, we can push B select. Alright, so there's our world map. That whole northern pair of continents, no ports for our ship, so we're stuck to this kind of Mediterranean area for now. There's Corneria. Whoops. Shark! Lightning. Probably should have used ice, but they're both good against water creatures, usually. Come on, Jack. Jack! Buddy! Yeesh! Okay, fine. Alright, you don't like lightning. Message received. Jack, buddy. You're making me regret the axe, and I don't love it. There, well, not enough, huh? Thank you. Okay, much better. Twitch just welcomed me to the chat room. It did that to me earlier during Alice's stream, so. Lit and ice should do the same damage to the typical aquatic monster. If I remember right, river monsters tend to be slightly more weak to ice, and ocean monsters are slightly more weak to lightning, but it's so close that it almost doesn't matter. Also forgot that sharks don't have much in the way of money. You heard it here first, sharks are broke. Elfland. Elfland. Save our prince! Boy, everywhere we go, huh? Alright, now if I remember right, this is the city that has the silver sword. So normally this thing is 4,000 gold and requires a dedicated amount of time to farm up the money for it. It's still 1,500, which is not great, but we'll do what we can with that. We're going to grab the large dagger for... Nope, well, we'll give it to Neon. For this... Does royalty just have a terrible sense of direction? Well, in this case, luckily, the Elven Prince is still in the throne room. He's just... Well, we'll find out when we go to the... He's having a bad time. But he did not go off in search of us. $1 cash dollar. Let's take a moment at the inn. How expensive is you here? Oh, nothing. Love it. Saving enough money so that you could save your game, because the only way to save your game was either with certain items that were usually very expensive or staying at an inn, was a thing I was frequently bad at as a kid. Okay. So in the randomizer, it changed the bridge text. I wonder if it's going to change this text as well. This is a tomb. Right, that's the same. This is a tomb. Originally this said, "Here lies Erdrick," which if I remember right was the name of the Dragon Warrior from Dragon Warrior. And it tripped me out as a little kid because there were two games I had, and I'm like, oh, are they in the same universe? Here lies Entroper. Imps are safe, R.I.P. Entroper is the person who made this randomizer. Okay, I gotta love that. That's very good. Yeah, let's talk to you. Hi. Why are you over here in a field? Our prince was to become the king of Elfland. Well, let's go talk to them. And again, all the doors in here I think are locked with the mystic key. Astos, put the prince to sleep. Please save him. Da, da, da. Without warning, Astos attacked our castle. Our prince was laid under a curse, and our treasury ransacked. So, an interesting thing about this is Final Fantasy I heavily inspired by D&D at the time. And what's very funny is in at least in Greyhawk, elves are immune to sleep because they don't sleep. So the fact that the Elven Prince was put to sleep is always cracks me up a little bit. Like, they're not the same world, obviously, but just that's where the break of tradition is. For 5 years, the prince has slept under Astos' spell. Only herb can wake him. Get that good green. Aww. 5 years? I somehow missed that the Elven Prince had been asleep for 5 years. Jeez. He must smell to high heaven. Alright. Well, let's go hang out in the Ochre Field for a minute, because I do kind of want to afford some magic. Do we have... We have a third level spell, so... We're going to have to do a little bit of grinding. Not as much as vanilla, but a little bit. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. We might actually finish the Marsh Cave tonight, which would be cool. Let's spread y'all out. You take on the creeps. And you also take on the creeps. It's weird seeing someone talk to every one of these NPCs. I mean, partially, I forgot what some of them said. In particular, I used to skip the castles until I had business there. So I'm interested to remind myself for the first time in a long time what these folks are saying. Yeah, I might as well just pile on. 6 damage, huh? Yeah. Not great. Not great. How? Don't love it. Okay. Well, let's switch it up. You go here. And yeah. Nope. Back it up. You cure you. We're gonna have you actually temper the thief. Hopefully before the thief goes. Jack, buddy. That's right. You'll be on the silver sword soon enough. Come on, Jed. Fuck him up. Yeah, it's a moderate fucking. Yeah, creeps are very tough. Ogres give good rewards at least. Maybe cherry cola. A cherry for cherry. Alright, let's back to this. Back to 1. Mages on this one. We only need 38 to use the inn, so I'm not too worried about if we have to just keep going back to town to refresh. Alright, ogre's done. Ow! Ow! Lay off my mages! Stop it. 10 damage. Critical hit! It does nothing. Come on, Jack. Yeah, Jack! Thanks, bud. Boom. Alright. And we will continue. So this field used to be like the first real prominent area where you could just go and grind, because the ogres tended to give a lot of money in particular, but also XP. And the first dungeon is coming up in the form of the Marsh Cave, and we will need more than we currently have in terms of equipment and spells to get through it. Well, we got one of them. There we go. Curses. Hooray! Neon with the save. How are we doing on money? Alright, I'm gonna go until we've got 2 grand. And then we'll head back to town and buy up everything we can. Oh, no. Okay. This is fine. Alright, good start. That's not too bad, actually. Alright. Reconnected, waiting for it to go green. Hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? So, maybe disconnecting from chat is definitely still an OBS thing, which means now I'm starting to worry that it's the recent OBS update. Because now chat goes out, and then somewhere in the next 5 minutes, OBS disconnects and reconnects. So, thinking something went wrong with OBS. Stream isn't working. Is it back? It's telling me it's back. It's back now. Excellent. Okay. So I might have to do some file verification on OBS before next week's stream. But one thing at a time. I forgot who had done what to whom, but we're just going to keep attacking. Good. Neon really doesn't like these wolves, apparently. That'll do. So now I'm paranoid about our network dropping in the middle of everything. Okay. I would like to actually fight the ogres in the ogre field, please. Holly Ollie ogre free. Asp. Let's just make this quick. That'll do. Snakes don't like cold weather, as it turns out, especially when it comes in magical form. Oh, we got a level. We're getting much more XP than cash. Unfortunately, I really need cash. I guess I could go to the Marsh Cave and just start, like, farming it for early treasures, but that might be a more interesting thing to do, at least. Alright, we'll do one more fight here, and if it's not an ogre, well, too bad. You know what? We're not really using these. Let's put it on you. Actually, no. We're gonna... I didn't realize how low you had gotten. Let's do one of these to save our life. Perfect. Good. I could probably raise the response speed. Kind of wanted to tool it down so we could read stuff, but it does seem a little slow. Good start. Come on, Jack. Get that critical hit. Alright, that should be all of them. Alright. Same deal. And we'll start attacking the creeps. Kaboom! Very nice. Not so nice. Ow. Ow. Yuck! Alright, alright. Yeah, there we go. I'll split the difference here. I remember thinking as a kid, and I don't think I ever confirmed this, but I remember thinking as a kid that the characters that used the blue and green palette were all elves, and the characters that used the white and red palette were all humans. So like Red Mage, Fighter, and White Mage are all humans, and Thief, Black Mage, and Black Belt are all elves. And at least the Thief and the Black Wizard later also have pointy ears, so there's a little bit of support for the theory, but I may have just made that up as a kid and hung on to it ever since. Come on, Neon. Yes! With 7 tiny damage. Take it. There's that 300 bunny. Alright, that probably has us at about 1,000. Yep, pretty much exactly 1,000. Alright, let's go back to town. We get whatever level 3 magic we can. After we stop at the inn. Alright, so the Silver Sword will have to wait. This should be level 3. Level 4 is on the other side of town, I think. Neon. Fire 2. Need that. Absolutely need that. Let's see. I bet it's Cure 2. So, somewhat confusingly, at least it was to me when I was a kid, Fire 2 is a fire spell that hits all of the enemies, whereas Fire is a single target, so it's Fire, Fyra. In this case, it's kind of Fire and Fyraga. In and that one is single target and one is multi-target. Not the same Cure and Cure 2. Cure is single target, Cure 2 also single target, just heals for more. Unfortunately, the randomizer fixes the heal 2 bug. It does not function as heal 3 in combat. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can't afford any of these. Never mind. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's probably fine. We're gonna go fight one fight just so I can get harm 2. Because that will also be a very big... Well, that was convenient. A very big help in the fight to come. And hey, it'll give us a chance to preview this before we light up the Marsh Cave. That'll do. This should kill all of them. There we go. Now, did that get us at least $100? It did! In fact, crucially, I think it got us enough to buy Harm 2 and Sleep at the Inn again to get our Fire 2 spell back. And then, the Marsh Cave. Do-do-do. 3 Dr. HP before the Marsh Cave? Holy crap. Yeah. Yeah. It's, again, the quality of life improvement so that I don't have to grind is good. It's very good. Doesn't feel like the original did, but I'm okay with it. Because the whole stream would have just been, hey, we've gotten to the Elfland. The next 7 hours of our life is going to be wandering up and down the same patch of grass. 3-digit. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. Should have read it as such. And out. Auto-corrupt, yeah, that's a more accurate way to put it. Alright. 2 things of Fire 2, 2 things of Harm 2. Harm only works on the undead, but the Marsh Cave has a lot of that, so... Jack, buddy! Bring that axe down. Okay, at least the ogre's also missing. You're both just having a bad day? We'll try that again. Damn, Ash. Jack, you're the fighter. This is the one thing you do. Well, it's this and take damage. Yep. We have 5 pures, which might not be enough. Jack is just here to kill chaos. God, I'm so weirdly excited for Stranger of Paradise. And again, I think it's going to be a perfectly forgettable game. But I think it's also going to be just a really fun romp. And I'm down for it. Like, the best way I can describe the game after playing the demo, and this is not a spoiler for anything, it's just talking about, like, tone that they seem to be going for. There were a lot of games, and I guess still are, but it was a pretty heavy trend in the early 2000s where a lot of video games thought they were cool and were trying very hard to convince you that they were cool. Stranger of Paradise is a video game that thinks it's cool and it doesn't give a shit if you agree. And that kind of makes it work, at least in my opinion. I think it's going to be very fun. I may just go all in on the ogre. We could just take it out turn 1. Good. I don't know where Neon got this evasion from, but I love it. Oh, Jack. Buddy. Pal. Friend. Do I dare use a fire? No. No. I'll run before I do that. The worst part is that the axe isn't actually doing more damage than I remember the short sword doing. Like, if the axe, when it hit, just clobbered things, that would be worth it. How? Alright. Well, let's do one of these. So you're going to take a moment to cure the thief. And you keep stabbing. Yeah. Come on, Jed, finish it off. Ah! Jack, buddy. It's by New Team Ninja, so it's probably going to be fun at least. Exactly. Like, I think just the fact that it's probably at least going to be fun is everything I need to know. But I am curious to see where they go with the story, because they've got some interesting pieces that they laid out in the demo. So like, it could be something really clever. If it's not, I don't think I'm going to be disappointed, and that's helping me get excited for it. I have bad news. Hand Axe gives up 5 accuracy for 1 damage. That's very bad news. Thank you for telling me, though. That's what I get for going for aesthetics. That's right. Like I said, it's gonna be a very temporary holdover until we have the 1500 for the silver sword, which will be a weapon that, if I remember right, carries us for quite a while until we get magical swords. It wants to be Final Fantasy VII Remake, but we'll see if they know what that means. Yeah, I actually got a little bit of that feel from it. Hey, Bat. Nice little ruined castle here. Hey, bud, how you doing? Astos double-crossed us. Go south to the Cave of Marsh. Not the Marsh Cave, the Cave of Marsh. Have I been saying that wrong all these years? Go south to the Cave of Marsh to retrieve the crown, then bring it directly back to me. No lines, no waiting. Gee. I love the bat sprites. They're so good. They come in like 8 different colors, I think, throughout the game. It's pretty cool. Alright, so we need to go to the bottom of the Marsh Cave, the Cave of Marsh, to... We should run. We're gonna run. Let's run. We don't need to be fighting a green ogre right now. To fight some wizards who stole a crown. And we'll bring that back to the nice king in the ruined castle, who seems like just a stand-up person and absolutely won't betray us. Probably. Are guys are the thicker ones? Yeah, guys are the thicker ones. Okay. And ghouls are the wimpier ones, I think. Yuck! That's right, it's not permanent. Good. Come on, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Let's use a potion on our healer. That was probably silly. I could have just waited to use the tent. It's fine. We do not have Lit 2, but I actually don't expect that this... I don't expect us to get all the way to the wizards on this run. We're just sort of going in to grab a bunch of treasures and then go back to town to make money. Because I want to have a full kit before we take on the wizards. Because they killed me a bunch when I was a kid. And I have not gotten over it. Tent! Time for exploration. Ooh, yuck. This could be bad. In Japan, the wizards were Pisca demons, but TSR, yeah. And they are very clearly like illithids. We're gonna go ahead and just cast from the top. Okay, actually they don't seem to be hitting us too hard, which is nice. Okay, well they're thick enough to survive 23 damage. Thick enough to survive 40 damage. Okay, harm was worth it. Oh, the sorcerers are mind flayers. The wizard, I guess Pisco demons or something. I mean, they look like it's the same sprite. They're just different colored. But to me, at least, they look like illithids. I guess illithid is the broader term. Nice. Good XP. Alright, take that. For 1 harm spell? Worth it. Alright. So we backed harm 2 over cure 2, which means I only have 2 cure spells left. And it's the same spell slot that uses harm, which will probably be more valuable to us in here. Oop. Oh no. Actually, if I remember right, crawls aren't as bad as creeps. It's not worth it to harm just 3 things, so we'll just try and chop them down. I think the bones only have like 10 hit points. There we go. They have 20 or fewer. A chop, a dead. Good. Hooray! Crawl is a carrion crawler, that makes sense. More with the stun, huh? Oh, wait, hang on. Jack, you attack this one. Count on you, Ash. Thank you, Ash. Yuck! Neon, it's all up to you. Listen, good try. It's 4 damage we don't have to do. Good, good. Come on, Jed. Damn it, Jed. Well. I love that it does 1 damage a hit. Neon from the top rope. Alright. 500 gold. Hell yeah, alright. Find some more crawls. Large dagger. Oh, we already bought one of those. Maybe Neon can dual wield. Neon cannot dual wield. Now, some of these chests will have an enemy that will always spawn either in front of or to the side of them. Kind of like a trap chest, I guess. An encounter chest at minimum. And I absolutely will not remember which ones those are. Nice! That'll help. Let's equip that immediately. Hand axe? Friendship ended with hand axe. Short sword is now my new best friend. Alright, cool. Getting some money, getting some good gear. Everything I came in here to do. Back up. The bottom row inside a room is all safe tiles. Huh. I never knew that. Oh no, we should run. Muck are awful. And they might just be called slime. That's a lighter green version of the same enemy. They're incredibly difficult to do damage to without magic, which we do not have a deep well of. Why did shadows keep going first? Stop it. I don't like it. Muck are great for farming if you have fire too. And I vaguely remember ice also works really well on them. Hey, welcome back. Smack him. Nicely done. Alright, what are we sitting on? All ads. Oh no. Okay. Magic is 500 a pop. So that'll get us, plus the money we're going to get from just walking back. Yeah, we're going to go back to town. Alright, welcome back. We just did the top floor, or I guess kind of the alternate bottom floor. Basement 1, I think. To get some money. We're taking that back to town. Rough start. Hey, there we go. Oh, that short sword. It's so thick. Stop attacking the cleric. I mean, you're undead. I get it. It's personal. I'm sure Ash feels the same way. Another 270. That's half a level 3 magic. I don't think we're going to get enough to afford level 4 magic spells, because those are pricey, even in this version. But if we can get the Silver Sword and Cure 2 and Lit 2, which I think we already have enough to afford, then we'll be in very good shape. And then I just have to remember how to get to where the wizards are, which is its own thing. When I was a little kid, when I bought the game, there was also... it wasn't with the strategy guide. I don't I don't think it was with the game itself. I don't remember how I got it, but I got a map. Like an actual fold-out road map. That at least had the layouts of the dungeons so that I could make notes on it when I found stuff. And I never played without that, like, open next to me. And now I'm working without it, and I don't know how well I remember stuff. Oh, maps and monster charts are in the box of the game. Cool. All right. Yeah, I don't think I think we're 2 levels away from our first level 4 spell. In terms of being able to cast it. Because I think that's at level 9 and we're 7. But yeah, by the time we get back to the Marsh Cave, we'll probably be level 9. So we could buy it in advance, knowing that we'd have it. But we'd only have like 1 cast of it. And actually, at that point, we'd... Well, yeah, because we'd level up on the way back so we wouldn't get the spell slot. Which is fine. There aren't a lot of... Right, we need a house. Which, actually, technically, we could buy here. They're going to be very expensive, though, so we may not be able to afford them. And it only matters if we can, A, afford a level 4 spell, and B, if any of those level 4 spells are, like, worth casting. I should heal my cleric, huh? I like to play the game with a thief and a reg mage just because Sage and Ninja are so good. Yeah. I think except for the times that I've deliberately tried to play the game with like a certain composition, the first, third, and fourth slots for me are locked. I always go fighter, white mage, black mage, but that number 2 slot rotates between thief, black belt, and red mage a lot, and I don't know that I have a favorite exactly. Like I went with thief because it was what I first played the game as. Red Mage, I consider to be kind of the easiest. Certainly in the early game, Red Mage is the easiest for me. And then... Black Belt is also honestly pretty great. And is a great way to save money, certainly in the early game. And then Thief into Ninja is the long play. But I never really... Except when I was deliberately just messing around with other compositions to really test myself. I very rarely deviated from that kind of core set. Let's get rid of this. And we'll sell this. Perfect. I think Saber is better than Scimitar, but is it betterer enough? It's cheap. We'll get it. Hi, baby. You want to come up say hi? Good baby. Alright. And don't forget to equip it. Here we go. The good boy. Alright, let's get lightning too. Nope, not for Jack. Jack can't use it. Lightning 2. Hold is a decent spell, but Lock 2 is... Now that it's actually fixed. In the original version, I remember either Lock or Lock 2 was, I think, bugged in vanilla. But this thing fixes that, which makes me very happy. We'll do Cure 2, and we'll need a fire. Which is a shame, because Heal can be handy. Heal is also a little weak, though. It heals everybody in the party for a little bit. And the little bit makes it not super worth it. Alright, what does 4th level magic cost? Just so we know for the future. 1,500 about. Okay, alright. It's weird to me that they're different costs. I thought, at least in vanilla, they were all $4,000. Come on, baby, light a fire. Prince must wake soon, or the power of the dark elf will dominate. Alright, let's see what our houses. These are probably going to be out of our price range. Yeah, 1,100. Not that bad, though. But again, we don't really need one. You know, I'm going to do a thing. I vaguely remember that there's somebody who can do petrification. And it's a rare encounter, but I think you can run into a cockatrice? Possibly in the Marsh Cave? who can turn you to stone, which means you're stuck that way until you actually, undo it. So now we have an undo potion. That's the wrong way. I think the elves become the Eidolons, which is why they seem to have left the world entirely. Ooh, I like that theory. Cockroaches don't show up until Earth Cave. Okay, cool. No, I think I did this before, and the answer is all in. Although we have the silver sword now, so Jack may be proud. Alright, Saber's alright. That's the stuff! Now we're cooking with gas. God, the silver sword is such a good weapon. We'll probably use the silver sword until we get, like, the coral sword or one of the other magical swords from the Earth Cave. Ooh, no. Well. Let's see how much damage we take from this. It's not cost efficient for us to take these people on right now. Cool. Thank you, Neon. Silver Sword is good until you get Fire Sword. That was also on the top. I was sitting there going, I knew it was an Elemental Sword was when I finally swapped it out. And I think the Coral Sword, only becomes slightly better and only against water monsters. But the Fire Sword is pretty great. And then there's, obviously Ice Sword for similar reasons, you piece of crap. Wow, two fights in a row. Where, 2 fights in a row where the enemies got to attack first does not feel great. Elemental Swords didn't even work in vanilla? Yeah. But I didn't know that. So I always did them. Buddy, you gotta... Nope. Okay, fine. You stay here. Hi. He does a thing where he just shoves his whole face up into the beard.
That is where the face belongs.
Woof, this is not great. You know what? We'll go back to town. We've taken too much damage on our way in there. This is not the run. Right, the elemental shields are backwards. The flame shield is warm, so it blocks ice attacks. It's not maybe strictly how it's supposed to work. Oh, hang on. There was another quality of life thing. Yes! So normally, if you ended battle and somebody had a status ailment, the game automatically put them last in your party, which was a pain. And the randomizer has an option to remove that, which, thank goodness. There. They're no longer poisoned. Alright, well, we used a Fire 3, which we cannot afford to use ahead of time. So back to town. On the plus side, I think we can now afford a house. We could become homeowners, every millennial's dream. Let's see if we can get all of this in one. Does the randomizer have an option to use the PSP Remix MP system? No, not to my knowledge anyway. I didn't look that closely because I was trying to get for like a strictly better vanilla run, but still have things like spell slots. Just mostly the bug fixes and things like changing seats and stuff. But I will go check if we're done tonight. I did consider picking up the Pixel Remaster, but I think it does use the MP system and like the... Was it Game Boy Color? It wasn't. It's not the Dawn of Souls version, but it's one of the earlier remakes from Final Fantasy 1 is what they based the Pixel Remaster on. Again with the striking first, eh? Don't like all the... Oh boy. All the ambushing. Alright, so we're all going to need to buy lots of pures. You know what? We're going back to town. There's an option to turn houses into ethers. Oh, okay. That's kind of nifty. There we go. Get some pure on you. Because that won't go away if we stay at the inn. I don't think, anyway. Come on, Jack. Thanks, Jack. Alright, now then. Let's try that again. Do one of these. Do one of these. That's enough to afford a house with about 200 left over. Ethan, I love you, but you are sitting on the headphone cord. You don't care, I know. We're still going to buy a house, but let me remind myself. Oh, this is where the ring starts showing up. There's an iron shield. We could get caps for everybody and a wooden helmet for ya boy. I think the pure potions in the house are going to be more valuable. House is the kind of thing where, if we have a bad run, we can essentially get a do-over at the mouth of the cave. But more importantly than that, when we leave the Marsh Cave, we still have to walk back to town. And if it goes like my previous runs have, we will have exhausted most of our stuff by then. There we go, that should leave us enough for some good stuff here. Also, I think after Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin, I may just do Final Fantasy Remake. Because I could just gush over it. It's so good. And I'm one of the folks who had skipped over Final Fantasy VII, played the remake first when it was like super discounted and it came out. I'm like, wow, this kind of fucks. And then went back and played the original, and it helped having the context a lot. And it's just I love what they're doing with it. I love what they're doing with it, and I'm excited to see the next couple parts. We were buying shield for your boy. Right, it's a fucking companion piece. That's a beautiful way to put it. That's a beautiful way to put it. And we're gonna buy. Okay, bud. There we go. If I remember right, copper ring isn't significantly better than cloth, so I probably won't pick that up. We will get caps for them. Which leaves us enough to get a wooden helmet for Jack. There we go. We've restocked our pures, our pure potions. We've restocked, we've got a house, so we can recharge on magic. Let's see if we can do the Marsh Cave. Like Crisis Core or Dirge of Cerberus. No. Absolutely not. I refuse. Just leave me alone. You're not worth it. Thank you, Jed. Oh god, the emote has the weird mouth. Love it. Let's run away from the... let's get our ass out of here. I'm sad, Randy. Alright. Nope. That's a big old nope. That's a nope-arino. Alright. Now, just in case things go heinously wrong, we're going to use tent to save. Shadows always strike first. That sounds like an aphorism, but it's not. It's just an annoyance. Every time I hear Final Fantasy I's Overworld, I hear, "Did I ever tell you you're my hero?" That's amazing. Shadows have a 90% ambush rate? Well, at least I know I'm not imagining things. It kind of makes sense that your shadow can sneak up on you, right? Like that, just flavor-wise. There we go. kind of overkill, but I'm alright with it. Also kind of overkill? Good grief. They're hiding inside the floor because they're incorporeal. Yeah, that's what I would do. I wouldn't attack, I'd just stay there all day. Alright. This should be the ladder. Nope. Yuck. Well, Jed, you're our only hope. Come on, Jed. Yeah, Jed! Get a thief to get you out. Alright, we're gonna take a moment. Just do that. There we go. Hi, buddy. You want... Okay, you want back up. You wanna help me beat the Marsh Cave? You wanna... No. You just wanna snuggle. It's fine. The thief's superpower is cowardice. Alright, vaguely remember which of these it is. If we go on the wrong one, we'll just get treasure and possibly more combat, so that's fine. But I think... Yes. Okay. Are we already there? Holy shit. Alright, so... It's like 3 over, 3 down? I used to remember the combination. Because the room is just a grid of identical square rooms. Right, kill the arachnid first. Purify our thief friend. And just keep killing that arachnid. Come on, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Holy hell. That's what you get for poisoning his boyfriend. That was weird. Pure potion went off and the whole interface went away. Goodbye, spider. There we go. Alright, so that was 2. This is 3. 2. Pardon me, bat. 3? I'll know it the moment we open the door is nice. That's not it. Red bones, I remember being strangely chunky. And we can mostly ignore the bones. Well, that's a... That's unfortunate. Come on, Jed. Well, good try. Well. Yeah. Damn it. Should have put Neon on the crawl. Yikes! Well, this will get rid of the other bones. Kind of a waste of a spell, unfortunately. Yay! 7 whole damage. Go ahead and heal up you. Good, good. Ow! Seriously? He just woke up. Let the man participate. Come on, Neon. Come on, Neon. This has gone bad in an unexpected way. Oh no. Come on, Neon. Alright, well. Jesus Christ! Jack, we really need you, bud. Please wake the hell up. I absolutely expected this, fair. God, again? So, I think Jack has failed to break out of paralysis for 7 turns? 6 turns? Too many turns. Oh my god. We're gonna die to these chunguses. Kill the crawl. We did use a tent outside. There we go. Jed is waking up every time. I don't know what Jack's problem is. Keep the cure coming. Try to conserve the rest of our magic for now. So we will need it. Thank you, Jack. Still wasn't enough, hey? Man, if that one damage had done it, I would have laughed. Come on, Ash. Grrr! And ultimately, Jack did nothing. Hey, alright. 600 bucks? Alright, we just checked the one below us. So we were heading up. No. Is it 4 over 3 down? This is me calling back across the eons to my younger self, who had this shit memorized. I'm gonna check everything on row 3. It's a very... There it is. See, I knew it when I saw it. It was 2-3. I was close, though. I'm impressed with myself that I remembered that it was 2-3. No, you're good. I had led myself astray with my memory from afar. I don't want to use that. I'm going to go ahead and burn through some heal potions, because that's what they're here for. We're going to keep 1. Everybody's in triple-digit health. We got 3 casts of Lit 2. And we only got 2 wizards, so that's great. I think the most I've seen in this encounter is 5. 2 is fantastic. And yeah, they kind of got the squid faces, so I always thought of them as illithids. Yeah, I think this is the fewest wizards you can have, which is the right amount of wizards. No, we're just gonna fight. Just gonna smack them with lightning. This might even be overkill, and I'm okay with it. Nice. All right, buddy, finish him off. Nope, he didn't do the thing. Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. All right. Woo-ha!
Let's get you patched up there, friend.
Oh God! No! 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 And no. Oh, come on! Are you kidding me with this? I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Well, if we don't need it now, we'll need it later. Let's ice you. Yes! Okay. We have Crown. We're the king now. Okay. We're at 2-3. Before we go anywhere. Burn our last heal. Now walk all the fucking way back out. Yeah. At least when you take on the fiends, there's a warp behind them. Which, thank goodness for that. But for these little side dungeons, the ice cave, not so much. Don't love it. Don't love it. What if we just ran? What if we just ran away? We're just gonna run away. We almost died to this formation last time. Come on, Neon. Thank you, Neon. The return trip is so nerve-wracking in a solo run. Yeah. Good grief. I saw the Fiends doing cheesy line reads in the trailer for the new one. It made me laugh till I hurt. I know. I'm so ready. I'm so ready for the new one. It looks like they're leaning into the camp with it. And I love. Crap. It was somewhere around here. Was it in here? Yes. Okay, we got this. I believe in us. Why did I jinx it? Okay, there's no red bone. We'll be fine. Did you hear me jinx it again just immediately? Not convinced any line read in Stranger can be called cheesy. Fair. Da, 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 da. So, you know what? We're gonna... No, we got 2 people stunned. We're gonna run. Come on, mages. Well, come on, Neon. It's just you now. Come on, Neon. Shit ass. Well, if you can't run, do the next best thing. You should have let me run. Looking forward to Tiamat, Kraken, Marilith, and Lich chewing just all the scenery. It's gonna be so great. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't it be funny if I ran now just for fun? Oh my god, really? And paralyzed again, because of course. Fine. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. Come on, Jack. Tiamat should be able to choose so much scenery. What with the 5 mouths? Okay, let's get the hell out of here. How are we doing? We got a half an hour left? Alright, we can totally get back to town. Goodbye, Marsh Cave. We won't miss you. You know what? Actually, I think we're actually okay not using our house, which is good because at $1,000, that's kind of the item you want to keep if you can. Although we're not going back to town. We were asked specifically to bring the crown directly to someone who's on the way back. And in a questionable decision, we're going to do what this stranger asked us for. They're just a nice old elf living in a ruin. Let's not mess with this today. Ow! Please someone leave. Please, Ash. Well, nope, stop that. Run. If we're doing the thing anyway, I'm not worried about using magic. Ow. Okay, good time to evade. There we go. Alright, now then. House time. Actually, 10 first, because I want to be at full health. Alright, there we go. Let's give this a try, and hopefully we don't beef it. Here's your crown. Ha ha ha! I am Astos, king of the dark elves. I have Matoya's crystal, and you shall give me that crown. Now! Thank you for being a puppet today. Key! Astos. Do you think Astos looked like this the whole time? Or do you think they did like a tuxedo mask, like cape reveal? I don't know which headcanon I prefer. I do know that Astos can absolutely one-shot us with a spell called Rub. We do not want to get rubbed. Let me put it on myself. And I will... Fire 2 is probably a really good pick, but it's the first turn. I'm going to Temper Jack. Good start. Not a great... Oh, there we go. Yes! Okay, so that's the instant kill. And if I remember right, he only uses one of those. But we dodged an instant kill on our fighter. So that's a good day. We're gonna invis... Jed. R2. Alright, that's 100 damage down. 150. Oh, this time it says attack rate down. That must be a randomizer thing. Jed, Booby. We're doing great. We got one more of these. I'm just gonna keep throwing them out.
No.
All right, 200. Yes! First try. Or you thought it was the king, but it was really I, Astos. That would have been great. It's his first spell, and he has 4 he uses in order. Yeesh. Now we're level 9. And we just got $2,000. Alright, so now we have the crystal. And we get to keep the crown, which I think is neat. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, if he took the crown from us, we just kill him and take it right back. What do you think about that? Couldn't agree more. Now we go back to town. Sort of. We go back to town as the holdover. We're actually going to get back on the boat and go to Matoya's place to give her her crystal so that she'll give us the herb so that we'll give the herb to the prince to wake him up so he'll give us the key. It's a whole thing. The key unlocks the TNT. It's the longest fetch quest in the game. I didn't actually realize that he had a set order, so it's always rub first, slow 2, fire 2, lit 2. Because you only fight him once per game, so I just never really put together that it was a set pattern. Why have I gone so high? For some reason, you need the crown to get into the Castle of Ordeals, even though you physically can't get there without it. I wonder if that was a dropped-like plotline. We're just gonna... Well, hang on. Do I have... Never mind. I take it back. We're not running. We're killing. So Astos also gave us $2,000, which is a significant amount of money in this economy. Which we will then use to buy at least 1 level 4 spell. Hopefully we'll have enough to buy a couple. The game was made in a bit of a rush. It's true. Which, I mean, considering everything that went into the development of this game, the fact that they ended up with something so lastingly endearing, I just think it's incredible. They thought this was their Final Fantasy. Listen, Grey Imps, I gotta get back to town. And you're purple anyway, so, like, work on your naming. You're a mean one, Mr. Grimp. Love it. Alright, in first. 4,500? Okay, we can get 3 level 4 spells, or we can fill out our level 3 roster. I guess we're actually only missing... No, okay, so 2 level 3 spells would be about 1,000. Okay, so we can get 2 level 4 spells. While also, nope, that's the wrong one. Neon. Lock 2. Lock 2, a phenomenal, like, boss killer of a spell, because it essentially gives everyone attacking them a chance to do additional hits. Which, if you're fighting a pack of enemies, Lock 2, not super handy. If you're fighting an enemy, Lock 2, very good. We got that, a fire. A fire in your heart. Oh god, what was that Fallout song? I don't want to set the world on fire. I said Fallout song. Obviously, it's an actual, like, real-world song that they used in Fallout, but you know what I mean. It's like when people credit Persona with the invention of jazz. That hurts my brain. Okay. A-Ice we won't need for a while. Fear I don't think I've ever used. Pure can be handy, but... using a 4th level spell slot in place of a cheap potion, meh. And A-Mute, the person who usually needs to be demuted is the White Mage. So, like, this is a bad level for White Magic. We'll come back for AIs later. What's the level 4 Black Magic? Sleep 2, which I think is single target, so... Fast is haste. This is fantastic. And Ice 2. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll get Ice 2. And we'll get fast. Because we gotta go fast. And then before we leave town... Do y'all say anything different once I have the crown? No, okay. Sleep 2 is awful. The only good thing about it is it's not elemental. Yeah, I don't think I've ever used it. Okay, so we will grab... we used a couple of these. Alright, so we'll grab 5 of y'all. And we'll grab at least 3 more of y'all. I don't know how I got this long blonde fur in my eye, Arthur. Alright. You know, actually, while we're here, do we have enough for... We do. There we go. We got a cabin in the woods. Because Elfland is a fort. Don't worry about it. Alright. Back to our boat. I like when they use synonyms like The Last Story and Gilgamesh's Limit Break, Ultimate Insanity. Yeah. God. What a surprisingly endearing character is Gilgamesh. We were talking about Final Fantasy XIV and its fan service earlier. So in Final Fantasy V, minor spoilers, I guess, for a game from the... Was that late 80s? That might have bled into early 90s. But, so... I'll have to turn notifications off next time. So... There are trials in Final Fantasy XIV where you get to fight Gilgamesh. And like one of them is Battle on the Big Bridge, which is where you meet him in 5. And he shows up all kinds of other wonderful places. And it's just it's one of my favorite nods because he's constantly referencing his adventures in those other games. God, was Final Fantasy V mid-90s? Feels so much later. Because I'm trying to remember... Final Fantasy 1, obviously, for me, in terms of video games, this was the first video game I became obsessed with. I enjoyed other video games, but this was the one that I just would play over and over and over, and I'd never done that with a game before. And then the second one was Final Fantasy VI, which I still maintain might be the best in the series. It's pretty darn close. But it's just, And I don't know that we'll stream that one either. Because there's a lot more story in that one, which means there's a lot more unspoken dialogue, and I don't need y'all to hear my weird voices that much. So we might not stream that one, but it is one of those perennial ones that I just constantly go back to. Right. Hello, imps, remember me? I'm tougher now. 6 was the first one where they tried to tell a less personal story, which makes it stand out a lot. Yeah. Because I think 4 is good, and 4 really reached for it on a couple of elements. But ultimately, it's a very 4-color kind of story. And it does more, I think, with, like, set pieces or scenes than it actually does with, like, an overarching tale. 5, I think, tells a cooler story, but it is still definitely a very personal story. Although playing 5 after playing 1 has some kind of interesting parallels. What they do with the Warriors of Light is, I think, is a cool concept in 5. And then there's 6, and 6 is like, no, fuck that, we're talking about imperialism now. And in, like, unflinching terms. And yeah, this game is for kids, what of it? And I, as a kid playing that game, I was like, oh, this is extremely my shit. Which I think is also the same reason that a lot of people enjoyed and became obsessed with Final Fantasy VII, in addition to it also being on PlayStation and things like that, was that... And I'm not saying it always nails the messaging, but for when Final Fantasy VII came out, that was a great story. And then 8 happened, and I love it, in spite of itself. You'll never catch me defending Final Fantasy VIII. Even as I babble about how much I adore it. Not a good game. And then 9 is just beautiful. 9, which wasn't even supposed to be a Final Fantasy game, or at least wasn't supposed to be a core game, it's just, oh, it's so goddamn good. Matoya, the prince needs herb? I'll trade the most powerful herb to get my crystal back. Oh, I can see! When I was a little kid, I used to be very confused, because I literally thought she was holding up the crystal like the lens of a pair of glasses to see through. And it only occurred to me later when my brother and I were having a random conversation, like, you know, he had graduated college by then, I was just going into it. Much, much later in life, we were just talking about it, and it was like, oh, it's a crystal ball. She's a seer. It's capital SC. I like your weird voices. Oh, thanks, Christy. Yep. The dankest herb. Aw. I appreciate all the support for my weird voices. I get extremely self-conscious about them. Although I'm glad we got to play Shantae, where weird voices are, I think, kind of required. Boy, that was a fun game. Most of those games are fun games. So, and please don't quote me on this, because I heard this from a source and I have not verified it. But what I heard was that because Final Fantasy X's development got delayed, Final Fantasy IX, which I think was supposed to be a Final Fantasy spin-off kind of a game, that team was repurposed and their work was taken and told, hey, you're going to be a core game now. Is, I believe, the part of why it has so much harkening back to the early generational games was because it was supposed to be a side game targeting people who had played the games in the 80s and 90s, but it wasn't meant to be a core title, because they were just going with the 7, 8, 10 kind of modernized theme of the series, which is why 9 feels out of place. It, again, is what I've heard. I need to Google it to confirm. Hey, buddy. But if true, cool as hell. Wait, we've gone south past J River. Alright, so now we have the dankest herb. And the Ozzy. Who is not an herb. He's not even a herb. But he is a good boy. Yeah, you are. I might give 8 another shot if someone gets it running smoothly on 60 FPS. Yeah. In a weird parallel to a conversation that Ben and Adam were having on Loading Ready Run the other day about Bloodborne, similar to what Ben was saying, even just a few years ago, I didn't really ever think that I noticed or minded frames per second in games. And now that I've gotten to a point where I'm regularly playing stuff at 60 FPS, and I went back to play, like, Dark Souls on my Xbox, and I'm like, I can't do this. The frame rate is garbo. It's one of those things where, kind of like when I made the switch to HD, and at first it was just kind of weird, and then after a while I'm like, I have a hard time going back and watching standard definition, and I just didn't think I'd ever get here. It snuck up on me. Alright, come on. Finish the Sahagins. Or, as I used to believe, Sahags. There we go. Don't know why I said it like that, but I was surprised by Jack doing triple-digit damage after 2 rounds of lackluster performance. There we go. Last one. One thing I always love in this game, the combat, the enemy side of the box, is split up, and for most of the game, it's like a 3x3 grid. You find out later that it's actually a 4x4, but for most of the game, it's a 3x3 grid. I love how some of the enemies deliberately are like closer to the player, whereas others are always in the back. And it kind of gives a weird sort of personality to the Sahagas are always right up in your face. And it's just, I just thought it was a cool thing. I was sure that was short for Sea Hag. It might be, but again, going back to the D&D inspiration, I'm betting it's Sahagan. I don't know if I'm right. There's 3x3, 2x2, and 2x3 plus 1x2 formations. Yeah. Which is why, bit of a spoiler, but when you fight the final boss, whose name I won't say, and they pop in, they take up the entire window. And that blew my little 6-year-old mind. I was terrified getting into that fight, and they're just the whole box. Here, have an herb. Oh, this herb will release the prince from Astos' curse. Look, he's waking. 5 years, hey? Listen, a lot's happened. New music, good stuff, a lot of good stuff. I got some recommendations. We'll get you a list. Is this a dream? Are you the Light Warriors? Is this for real? Are you for real? So, as the legend says, I will give you the Mystic Key. What a weirdly specific legend. You will meet 4 warriors of light. Give them this key. Really? This key? That you've kept in your pocket for 5 years, I guess, and no one thought to check? Like... Oh, hang on, we have the key. Let's use the key immediately. The Cave of Dwarf. Not the Dwarf Cave. The Cave of Marsh and the Cave of Dwarf. I always said them as Marsh Cave and Dwarf Cave. Is at the west end of the Aldi Sea. Oh, I love that supermarket. Limp Bizkit now owns every radio station. Right, don't worry about spoiling the final boss name. Jack will say it 400 times. Yeah, it's true. Prince is awake. Thank you so much. You know what? You're welcome. That's just me trying to give back. Oh yeah, this is the weird one where like you can't quite tell that you can go out here. There we go. Silver hammer, good. Some money. Some money. Copper gauntlet. I think that's a gauntlet. I'm hoping for a very specific ending for Stranger of Paradise. Me too. I low-key want to compare notes. It's another time. Alright, so we'll trade, because gauntlet and gloves are the same slots. And then weapon-wise, how are we doing on time? You know what? We got 15 more minutes. We can at least make it back to Corneria and open up some new stuff. Whoa, that's a fun glitch, hey? Double door. It's fine. Nope. Stop. Alright, so now we've got treasure chests to find in Corneria Castle and in Astos' castle to get all of our... And in the Temple of Fiends. Boy, the Mystic Key opens just everything. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to go ahead and save in case we just get destroyed going across the sea, as is possible to happen. We are coming up on the end of tonight's stream, and I have a decision to make. And I might ask y'all's help. So, by which I mean I'm asking your help right now. There's no might about it. Where am I at exactly? That's the wrong button. It'd be, and then select. Yes, straight down. Okay. I remembered correctly. One other thing in the quality of life, by the way, is that you have a sprint button now. Boy, that would have been nice. So, I like this game a lot. I enjoy playing this game a lot. I can play this game all the time. It's one of the shorter Final Fantasy games. It's one of the shorter JRPGs, period. It'll still be a while, probably like 7 or 8 episodes just to finish this one. I'm tempted to go ahead and do that. So tonight might be the first in a long play of Final Fantasy 1. However, in addition to Stranger of Paradise, which I don't plan on streaming myself, although I believe, was it Alice, I think, over on Squirrel Lily is planning on streaming it? which I'm really looking forward to watching because it's gonna be wild. Okay, good. I guessed that right. I remembered that right, obviously. Here's what I'm saying. So next week we can either do more of this, or between now and then, there's also another new game that I've been waiting on for a long time that is similar to another game from about this era called Tunic, which looks a lot like a Legend of Zelda game, except you are a little fox with the sword and shield, and it looks cute as hell, and I've been waiting for it for forever. So we might stream that. I suspect, based on what I've heard, that it'll be a much shorter game. I don't think it's going to be a long whatever. In addition to that, later this month, in about 10 days' time, a game called Ghostwire Tokyo is coming out, which I've been very curious about, given the people who are involved in it. Like Shinji Mikami from Resident Evil is in there. The art director, whose name I'm pulling a blank on, from Bayonetta is in there. It's a hell of a production, and it looks kind of great. What I'm saying is, 2 very good games are coming out in March, and I might want to stream them immediately, but I don't know. So would y'all mind if we do a long play of this, or would you like to see some new stuff instead? Y'all tell me in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to go raid the Royal Armory, which is around this way, I think. Oh yeah, and there's a sage over here, too. Hi, buddy. Use that key. Inside, what you find will be quite useful. Thanks for, listen, you're technically an accomplice now, but thanks for that. Just, it's important to me that you be informed. What am I saying? You're a sage. Of course you're informed. This treasure room is locked with a mystical key. I guess we could have talked to them beforehand, and they would have said something else, I imagine. Iron staff. Saber. Silver dagger, okay. So we've got new weapons for everyone who is not our fighter. Iron armor, very handy. Iron shield. A lot of duplicates we're getting here. TNT! It's dynamite. So that will help the dwarves. Which makes it technically means the fetch quest is not quite over. So we had to get the ship, to get to the Marsh Cave, to get the crown, to get the crystal, to get the herb, to get the to get the key, to get the TNT. And the TNT gets us to the Western Seas, where we can find the ruined town of Melbourne that has been beset by a vampire and the end lich, and it's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. Well, I'd be happy to see the rest of this. If you start getting the itch, go ahead and get into the new juice. That's valid. I think I'd enjoy this more, but I'm more interested in what you would enjoy. Listen, I love you both for that, because, yeah, I mean, that's kind of fair. I don't know why they swallowed the fly. The tint. Awesome. Yeah. So, raid, nice. The raid command for the Royal Armory, very good. Okay, so we're going to tentatively plan to stream more of this next Monday. And we're also, next week is when we're switching to our 2-a-days. So it'll be Monday and Thursday, 7 to 9:30 Eastern Time is our current plan. So yeah, that's going to be the schedule, and we'll do this till it's done. And there's some bits of this that I'm really honestly looking forward to getting to play through now that we've got the quality of life improvements. I'm totally going to make like tactical choices in the game based on the bugs I remembered from when I was a kid, which will be hilarious, I think, in practice. But yeah, we'll do more of this, and then when that's done, then probably Tunic and Ghostwire Tokyo. Which will still be there, because video games don't spoil in the pantry, and I'm grateful for that. As evidenced by this one that's been in there for 35 years. Boy, I'm old. Well, on that happy note, that's where we're actually going to go ahead and call it a night here. I believe there's going to be, there's possibly going to be a late stream over on the Squirrel Elite channel. So look out for that, as we'll auto-host them here. So you can just hang out here and you'll see when they go live. I think that's all the big stuff, except for the ones that disappear forever. Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for coming with me on this journey back into my own personal nostalgia. And we'll be back with more of this next week. See y'all then.